In this video, we will talk about multi-threading in Java. We will walk through a couple of examples so that you can implement this technology in your projects. This way, you can create programs that do multiple things at the same time. My name is Gene. Let's break down this topic together step by step. So a normal Java application consists of only one thread. Everything is done sequentially, and there is no parallelization. In Java, there are two ways to do parallelization. One way is to make use of the Runnable Interface, and the other one is to extend the thread class. So let's do the Runnable example first. Runnable R, new Runnable, and whatever we define within the run method is what we can pass on to a thread so that the thread can do something with it. So let's make an example where we just output a couple of numbers. We count from 1 to 10, so let's define a for loop. I beginning from 0, well, actually beginning from 1, and then going until 10, I++. And within every loop, we output the number, the index, and we sleep for a defined time. So we can do this with thread sleep, and we sleep, for instance, for 300 milliseconds. Thread sleep also needs to be put into a try-catch context because it can run into an uninterrupted exception. So to run this runnable that we just created, we can just run it directly, run, and run it sequentially. But this obviously doesn't make any sense in our case. We want to have it run in parallel. So we're going to remove that, create a new thread, T1, and pass the variable R. And now we can start the thread. And here we can see, well, the exact same result, but run in a thread. We can also start a second thread that does exactly the same thing. And then we will see that it will run at the same time. Thread and T2, not T2, it's R. And then run T2 as well. There we go. And now we can see that it runs both threads at the same time, twice every time. Okay, so that's one way to make use of multi-threading in Java. The other way is to extend the thread class. So let's do exactly that. Let's create ourselves an example of runners, or let's call them sprinters. So actually people who walk in different speeds. So sprinter.java extending the thread class. So here as well, we will need a run method, which we will override from the thread class. And whatever we do within this run method will be done within the thread. So let's first create an output. Let's first announce that our runner has started. So we're going to create variables for that. S starts running. S is the placeholder for the name that we will provide. And then N for a new line. And here we will make use of a private variable. So private string name. And in here, this dot name, and we also need to create a constructor to be able to set the name right when we create the instance. So this would be string name, and this name is this parameter name. All right. So again, we will make use of a for loop, just as in the runnable example before. Int I from 1 until 10, including 10, and then one step at a time. And in every step, we will output our step, print f, and we will say name, which is the placeholder %s, runs, and then the second parameter, a string, runs an amount of meters, and a new line. So first we need the name for the first parameter, and then for the second parameter we need another information. This is the meter. So let's take the index of the for loop, which will count from 1 to 10. And in every round we will sleep for a certain amount of time. Let's create a variable for that. Private int step time. So the time that we need between each step. And we will also pass this as a variable when we create an instance of this class, step time. This step time. And now we make use of this value here. And yes, we also need to put it into a try catch context because it can be interrupted. All right, so this is all we might need for the first run. We can also, well, when we reach the 10th step or the 10th meter, we are actually finished. So let's announce that when we reach 10, then system out print f. When we need the name of the runner, which we will pass as a parameter, and then is finished or just finished. Like that. This should be fine. A new line after that, and also the parameter. And there we go. Now we can run it. All right, let's run it. Sprinter. What do we want to call him? Well, let's call him Steve. Steve, and then provide the name Steve. And Steve has a step time between steps of, well, this is milliseconds, so maybe 250 milliseconds per step, meaning that he does 4 steps in 1 second. I think that's realistic. Okay, and then we can start the running process of Steve. All right, let's run it and see the result. And here we see that Steve runs from 1 meter until 10 meters. And here we can also see where Steve starts running and when Steve is finished. Now we can parallelize all this stuff. We can create another one who runs as well. And for that, let's make use of the sprinter class again. This time, let's take Chuck. Chuck is also a sprinter. Chuck, but Chuck is much, much slower. So Chuck, let's say, has a speed of, like, between the steps 650 milliseconds. And Chuck starts running at about the same time. Let's run it. And here we can see that they both start running at the same time. Steve is already finished and Chuck is still running, but then Chuck eventually will be done as well. Good. All right. And we could also add a third sprinter. So let's do that. Eddie. And named Eddie. Eddie is a very fast one. he has just 150 milliseconds in between each step. And he should be, finished first, even though we start him last. All right, let's run this. And here we can see that Eddie is already finished. Then Steve is finished and Chuck is the last one. All right. So it's important to understand that these threads are completely independent of each other. This means that if one thread crashes, the other ones are completely unaffected. They will just continue to run. We can simulate this by having a sprinter fall down. So let's implement this logic. So we can say that one sprinter falls down after a certain amount of meters. So private int falls down. And what we provide is the number of meters. So here falls down, this falls down. And then we can say here that if the certain amount of meters is reached, then we throw a new runtime exception. And we provide a certain text. So let's make use of string format for that. Yeah, we want the name. So %s again, fell down. And after that, a new line. And then we need to provide the value that will be put into the s placeholder here. And this would be the name. So this means that the sprinter will run from 1 to 10 meters, but he will be interrupted when he falls down after a certain amount of meters, resulting in a runtime exception and outputting this certain text. All right, let's implement that. So let's say Steve never falls down. For that, we will say 0. Remember, 0 will never be within this loop. We will start here at 1. So Chuck is the one that we will have fall down, let's say after 3 steps. And Eddie again will not be falling down at all. Okay, let's run this. And here we will see all of them are started running. And here we can see, here we have the runtime exception. So this means that the thread that Chuck is in has now broken down. The other ones have continued. And the message that we got is that Chuck fell down. So until to this point, we have the sprinters all run at the same time. But we have also the possibility to define that the threads will wait for each other. This will change this race from a parallel race to a relay race. We can easily do this by using the join method, which means that first Steve starts to run and then we will wait for Steve to finish. So if we check the definition, we can see that here join waits for this thread to die. So we will be basically stuck here until, well, Steve is finished running or falls down. It needs to be a finished thread. All right, we can do the same thing with Chuck as well. Chuck join. And once Chuck is done, Eddie can start. And we can do the exact same thing with Eddie. And after that, we can print a text. The race is done. All right, let's execute it. And here we can see Steve is running at the moment. Now we have Chuck. Chuck falls down though. Now Eddie starts running. He's very fast. And here we go. The race is done. All right, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial about Java threads. So make sure to drop a like if you found this video has brought some value to you. And also consider subscribing to this channel to not miss the next video. It's going to be about interrupting threads, thread states, and setting priorities for threads.